Trump's world, so it has all the things he's doing in their mind. This is all interesting because Time Magazine is not a non-biased media source. That would be one of those that's generally speaking for the Mockingbird media, which we'll explain is controlled media for a specific agenda, but they're even having to admit what's taking place in the world. And the reason I'm putting that there is, again, to confirm there's an aspect of us reiterating what's been being said from the very beginning, what I've been saying for years and years and years. And the way the Lord spoke it to me, several things. I'm removing the mafia and I'm putting Trump in. It's my call. And he has a Cyrus call and anointing. And Cyrus's call was to the whole world. Trump was to the whole world. Your nation will be known as before Trump and after Trump. The whole world will be known as before Trump and after Trump. And the things that are taking place right now globally are even just impossible to properly contain. Just what happens over a 24-hour period, just to spit out a few things that are either, your mind just, what? Anything from Bill Gates just confesses that the global green agenda is not real, a hoax, or he's wrong. And so we go into, okay, is that even Bill Gates? Has he been forced? Whatever. Just that's a whole story on its own. We hear, and this again is being now the stuff we're covering now, as opposed to 4 or 5 years ago, we had to tell you stuff that was behind the scenes known or communicated. This is now, we'll say, overt communication to the masses. So that speaks into a little bit of the change about top Trump officials being moved to military bases so that they can be safer. There's too much danger. I don't know if you've heard that, Steve.
So, who's moving to military bases?
Trump officials like Stephen Miller and his family. Pam Biondi. There was a Pam Biondi assassination attempt, a very credible one that was stopped. And so they're being moved. This is covered, by The Atlantic, which is, again, not one that is not a media outlet that's known for being for the good guys. And Bill Maher covered that as well in some interview he was just having. So this is communication to the masses that what Trump is doing is so threatening to the deep state, we'll call them that they're having to added a protection layer for all of his officials. Now, whether that's real or whether that's just communication out there to inform the public that it's dangerous to do what Trump is trying to do, and they may have the reality secured better than it seems, but that's the things going on. Trump and Xi, the prime minister of China, just met, and Trump says on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 12. And he speaks into their hopes for the future. We want China to prosper. They want us. But what he did essentially behind the scenes, again, it could take 20 minutes at minimum to do a overview commentary on how he has stopped the China monopoly and the China monopoly on rare earth minerals, and which is a game changer thing. And I was reminded even of when the Lord first spoke to me about Trump being in a position of power. I had said, well, I see that you've called him to as a bull in the China shop. And that was a terminology. I wasn't the only one that was using it, that Trump back in 2017 was a bull in the China shop. And I said, but surely he's not called to run the China shop. And that's when I had this vision where the Lord showed me, no, he's going to run.
That's the point that he showed that. Okay.
That's the point, is when I asked him, is he just called to destroy the China shop? He's like, no. But I'm thinking of what we would think of a China shop is a store that has China. And so the political world is a China shop, but a whole new understanding of the China shop as in the nation of China and their control of matters. So he has been fulfilling that as well. And so then we have the House Oversight Chair just said that all Biden's pardons and executive orders that were done by others, they're all null and void. So that's a whole nother how that's going to play out. that the pardons, I don't know when this crosses over into practically showing up in every kind of way, where his executive orders and pardons all get canceled. But that's on the world. That's on the map. So we have, it's Trump's world. That's what's going on. And that Trump's world is a sign, not that he's in charge instead of God. It is the definitive sign that God is in charge, because he has said, that's how he spoke it to me. Trump is my man. I'm putting him in place. He's going to save you from things you don't even know about. And so this is proof of that. And time, it is kind of just sweet that Time magazine has to admit it's Trump's world, that this is
Wow.
what's going on. Like they have to bow to what the Lord is saying. And so, they're going around calling him King Trump, and it's by some mocking, some joking, some totally realizing heads of states like, no, you're the king. All over
A couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, it was beginning to be prophesied. The Cat Kerr said the time is coming when they will have no choice, but they will have to report it. But Paul Cain used to say that too. They will say they have to report it. But anyway, go ahead.
No, that's good. So, and he's letting the world know in different ways that he is in charge, that it's Trump's world because God is given to him in that kind of way.
Yeah.
And that he is King Trump. And so he's doing things like, he just tells Maduro, even like yesterday, no, he's going to be out soon. We're taking him out. So there is going to be regime change in Venezuela. It's going to be pretty soon. Maduro may not be, he may end up being a pawn that bends and helps it all happen, because he realizes he's been forced to realize that the country's been taken over by the drug trade. So, and then he's already given the next president, President Petro of Colombia, is like, you're next, because you're also in cahoots.
You say Trump told him he's next as well?
He didn't say it, you're next, but he said Petro is behind the drug trade from Colombia, and he's very strongly worded things. And so it is understood he went down to Argentina and promised right before a huge election, Milei, $40 or $50 billion to help them out where they're at. And the people responded in mass. And so even though their media says, no, Milei's on his way out with this midterm election, he's going to lose everything, it went way opposite what the media said. And so, the South American, we're very connected to South American political reality. Yeah. And there is a saying, the president of Bolivia, and Bolivia has been socialist and part of Organization of Nations going in the socialist direction. But this new president, who we'll say from a Christian standpoint, we're not even sure exactly where he's at, but he comes out making statements. I am stepping out of all those organizations. I want to work with Trump. I want to be in alignment with Trump. Wow. And so he's there. And then Trump says to Nigeria, no small nation, the most populous nation of Africa, over 200 million people, I believe, you will stop allowing Christians to be killed, or we're going to bring military intervention. What?
And so he used the term, we'll come in guns a-blazing. He actually said that. So, yeah.
No, so we're seeing stuff that's just unprecedented. It's proof. Again, what are these? These are proofs. When you give prophetic words and you get in trouble for giving prophetic words, and you go through ridicule and mocking and all kinds of other things for doing it, which is what I have and what we have received from here, we're going to tell you when that has been proven to be true, because it establishes level of credibility for the things that we still have to say moving forward. And we have more things to say. I have some things to say.